Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm so much better than last time I was here. Although I'm still coughing up a little bit of phlegm. But loving me even though I cough up phlegm, and never having to say I'm sorry is love. So I'm here to talk about love. Nick and I always have this exchange of texts, and it sort of creeps up on me that I'm coming here, and Nick said, I'm sending out the email. Should I just send out, you're coming, no topic? And I said, yes, no topic, love. So this is fancy. This is nice. You guys, this is great. So what I love here, or I do love here, is the quote is, and I am mindful that I'm having to stand really far back here. Okay. All is love, yet all is law. Love is the impelling force, and law executes the will of love. From Ernest Holmes, Love and Law. So early on, not early on, but part of my spiritual training as I was sort of going through this and reading Ernest Holmes' book and studying the science of mind, I got all the mental sort of exercises down and principles and laws and all those things we talk about, and I just thought that was dandy because I could make sense of my spirituality logically and linearly. But then I would go back to Love and Law, and I'm like, wait, I would go through the book, and I'm like, I just don't see where he's talking about love. I mean, I see law, principle. Where is love? I mean, it's love and law. There's no love in this book. So I met my partner, and I fell in love. And he happened to be a student of Unity. So I started to go to Unity Village, and I walked in there the first time at Unity Village to do training in the dormitories, which were like an old Bates hotel. And I walked in the lounge, and there on the fireplace it said, God is love. And I thought, oh, now I'm here. I'm going to get the love that I've been looking for in all the wrong places. So in the course of my study, and see, these things don't hit me right away. I mean, sometimes it's because I'm trying to make sense of it. So I think part of the problem was that I was trying to make sense of God for a long time. And then I was trying to make sense of love for a long time. Well, God and love don't make sense. You really can't make sense of it. You really can't describe it. You really can't. And we have all kinds, my iPad is full of like all kinds of great things to say about love, and I'm going to share some of them. But I think what is also interesting about love is I catch myself, I do weddings. I do a lot of weddings. I have 20 weddings coming up. And as a matter of fact, next Saturday, on Valentine's Day, I marry a couple. I know, isn't that sweet? I joke with the groom, I'm like, that's really smart. He's like, I know. He said, I was hoping, I could get one that would be like her birthday, our anniversary, and like Valentine's Day. But anyway, they're really sweet. So in the process of sort of responding to all these brides and communicating, I catch myself throwing love around a lot. I would love to do your wedding. I would love to be chosen as your officiant. I would love, whatever it is. And that's okay, but I start to like pull it back because I'm like, okay, I want to be mindful of my use of love because I want it to sort of, again, the mental exercise be definable, but not definable. I just want it to be special, right? You know, and the emoticons that we have now, you know, it's a heart, 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 heart. My partner, Joe, is the king, Emoda King. I was sharing some success, business success with him the other day, and he sends me clapping hands, clapping hands, clapping hands, clapping hands. Thinker, 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 thinker. Gift, 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 gift. That is, congratulations on your manifestation, on your intention, because he knows my intentions. I'm bringing that intention into expression in your life. And I knew exactly what he was saying to me, but he could have just wrote that. So there's this quote. It's from the Long Walk to Freedom, the Nelson Mandela, and I love this. It says, "I love this." See? No one is born hating another person because of the color of his skin or his background or his religion. People must learn their hate, and if they can learn to hate, they can be taught to love. For love comes more naturally to the human heart than its opposite. Now, I think that's very true. I don't think there's a lot of hateful babies around. I think that we are somehow conditioned through our experience. And I want to tell a story about this little dog whose name is Maddie. And Maddie's no longer with us. He's across the Rainbow Bridge. But Maddie was this dog that was adopted by Joe's and my friend Charlie. And Maddie was this round, like a sausage, round, Maddie, gray, like ashy gray, poodle. Miniature poodle, like this big. And Maddie just would growl. I mean, he would just, like, anything, anybody would get near him, he'd just go. So Charlie's from Kentucky, he'd be like, well, come over and meet Maddie. And I'm like, okay. This is Maddie. And he's going, grrr. And Joe and I are like, oh, he's cute. So Charlie was in between homes. He was finishing up building a condo. This is when we lived in Florida. And so we said, well, you know, he needed a place to stay. So it was a couple months, I think. He came to live with us with Maddie. So there's Maddie in the house. And so Charlie just was hanging there with his dog. I mean, Joe and I were convinced, I mean, he's just a bad seed. There's something wrong with this dog. This dog is beyond repair. He really is. And one day we heard Charlie screaming from our living room, and I came running in to find Charlie on our sofa with Maddie attached to his hand, right? Blood pouring out, and he's screaming, and you know, we're trying to get Maddie off him. And I said, what happened? And he said, I don't know. He was sitting in my lap, and I was just petting him, and all of a sudden, he just bit me. Just flipped out. And I said, Charlie, you've got to get rid of this dog. And he said, no, I'm not going to get rid of this dog. I made a promise to this dog when I rescued him from the shelter that I'm going to, you know, hang in there. I'm going to give it a little bit more. 3 months went by, 6 months went by, 9 months, and, you know, all of us are like, you know, we're not coming over anymore because of Maddie. So about a year into it, he was having an Oscar party. So we went over for the Oscar party, and there was this dog, this Maddie, just running around, was the happiest, most lovable, affectionate dog I'd ever met in my life. And he was so cute. He was this little gray poodle that was round with like this really pretty gray hair. Who just smiled at you. And I just thought he was the cutest thing. And I said, Charlie, did you find some drugs for him or something? Of course, that's where my mind goes immediately. You know, there must have been medication for it. And he said, no, I just hung in there. And I just kept loving him. And finally, this is what he said to me. Finally, what I think he realized is that he was lovable. And then he could love me back. And I thought, wow. I said, Joe, that's a great spiritual lesson I got to keep, because the sad part is I'd have killed Maddie, probably. Because spiritual growth, see, here's the thing. We have a couple things. Oh, my God, the paddle already? That can't be possible. I just want to get to, hold on. I didn't get to anything. Jeez, Maddie's story took way too long. All right, so I want to talk about this. Anybody see this megachurch minister who gave the talk to his church? I'm trying to find my notes. Oh, Stan Mitchell of the Grace Point Church. And the reason that paddle reminded me, because I'm going to tell you in just a minute, is Stan Mitchell of the Grace Point Church gave this hour-long sermon, was in the news last week. An hour long, that paddle guy must have been homesick or something. I don't know. So, anyway, so 45 minutes into this talk where he talks about the scripture and Jesus, and he tells a scriptural story of the disciples coming to see Jesus, and they don't recognize Jesus. And I guess the net on all of it is that all of these beliefs and principles and ideas and all these things because I just want to tell you one of the things that I wrote down. I had on my refrigerator for a long time is the idea that beliefs are opinions that one refuses to reconsider. Okay, so basically what he's saying is all of these beliefs and ideas and scriptural and the story that the disciples are there, and he recites the entire scripture to them, and they still don't recognize him. And basically he says, you don't know love when it's staring you in the face. And I may lose you, but I promised to start this conversation about acceptance. And what has come to light through this painful conversation, because the road to self-discovery is often painful. What has come to light through this road to self-discovery is my realization that the greatest guide is the guide of love. This is an evangelical megachurch. And right now, we are extending full and equal rights to all non-heterosexual members of our community. So basically, we are accepting gay marriage, we're extending the sacraments, and this is the third of the megachurches that have made this major move. So what has happened is the greatest guide is the guide of love. The idea that the belief can change, that the opinion that they think is really the belief has been reconsidered. And in the words of Zora Neale Hurston, she said, love makes your soul crawl out from its hiding place. Well, I think love makes our ego crawl to our soul and beg forgiveness and say, show me the way. Show me the way. Because that's really what it's about. It's about resolving conflict for us. The conflict resolution process in our lives, two disparate things, we have a choice. Choose the path of love, or don't choose the path of love. And for many of us, that choice of not choosing the path of love was anger, self-pity, depression, or mind-altering ourselves so that we did not have to choose. So in this month of love, we are going to consciously choose love. We're going to consciously choose this thing that I really can't define. Because love is God. God is love. You're an expression of God. You're an expression of love. And that's all you need to know. Thank you.